Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, welcome to the Civics class grade 9. I am Abdul Wahid, your civics teacher. Today we shall start with the first chapter of Civics grade 9, that is Introduction to Civics. But before discussion, let's see what are learning objectives of today. So after studying today's topic, we will be able to bring to the light true meaning of civics. Number 2, to understand and use various concepts of civics. And number 3, to understand various definitions of civics. Dear students, first we shall try to understand meanings of civics. The meanings of civics can be understood by this concept: man is social by nature. So this concept, man is social by nature, we shall try to understand it with the help of these points, the following headings. As we know that man cannot live alone. This is human nature. This is the man's nature, that he cannot live alone. Because he is not self-sufficient. From the birth to his death, he depends upon other men for his a lot of necessities, requirements, needs. So due to this nature, men have many contacts and relations with other men, which creates a society. When the men in society, people in society, they contact with each other, they have relations with each other, they live together, that creates a society. When this society is organized, it is called state, which gives many rights and duties to the men, who are now called its citizens. So in this way, the science that studies collective life of men, that is political, social, economic, and religious, etc., is called civics. So we see that civics means that the study of the collective life of citizens of a state. Next, we have to understand historical background of civics. Dear students, the study of civics started in ancient Greece and Rome. So here we shall try to understand about the ancient Greece, that how they developed, focused, and evolved this term. Greece has been a source of ancient civilization for a long time. The ancient Greece consisted of hill tracts delinked from each other, and every region was an independent state called city-state. This city-state is a very important term in civics to understand, especially in the context of ancient Greece. Because at that time, due to lack of sources of communication, the people used to live in small hill tracts. So those small hill tracts were very small, with very less people living there, and the main feature was that they were totally independent. That's why they were called city-states. So every citizen participated in affairs of city-state. Therefore, there was rule of direct democracy. This is also very important term, because nowadays we have indirect democracy due to the expansion of state in modern times. But as there was a very small state which was called city-state at that time, the system of government was direct democracy. In ancient Greece, there were many philosophers and thinkers, political philosophers and thinkers. So among them, Plato and Aristotle were the renowned political philosophers of ancient Greece. So we can say that civics was originated in Greece. This term is related, we see, with the city-state which was developed and originated in Greece. That is why we can say that this term was originated in Greece. Next, we have to understand sources of civics, or we can say the derivation of this term civics. The term civics has been derived from two Latin words. The first one is civis, which means a citizen, and civitas, which means city, which Greeks called city-state. As we discussed earlier, in modern time we call simply state, but in ancient Greek they used to call city-state. So for that there is a word civitas. We have also its origin or derivation in Arabic. So in Arabic it is called Madinat, which came from Maddan, which is Arabic means city. Therefore, in Islamic concept, we can say civics is the study of rights and duties of citizens of an Islamic state. Next, we have to understand modern concept of city. So when we say modern concept of city, it means there is also an ancient concept of city, or the old concept of city. As the city-state has been transformed into a modern state, therefore the concept of civics has also been changed and expanded. Difference between a city-state and a modern state is that in ancient time there was no difference between a city and a state, because a city was also a state, because that was a small one. But in modern time, we see that within a state there are, we can say, tens and hundreds of cities. We can have the example of Pakistan. In Pakistan we have Islamabad, Lahore, Karachi, Quetta, Peshawar. All these are cities. And then there are small cities, but they are not state. And we have also cities in Qatar, we have also cities in Saudi Arabia, we have also cities in UAE. But in ancient time, for example, Sparta was a city, and at the same time it was a city-state. Athens was a city, at the same time it was a city-state. So in ancient time, there was no difference between a city and a state, but in modern times there is a huge difference, because a city is part of state and there may be many cities in a modern state. Okay, next we have old and modern concepts of a citizen. To understand this, we have to see and understand who is a citizen. A citizen in a city state and a citizen in a modern state. We have to compare this and we have to differentiate between these two concepts. Citizen in a modern state and a citizen in an ancient city state. So we have to at the same time look into, because in modern times some people, or we can say the common people, they call one citizen one who lives in a city, but this is not the case in modern times, because in modern times one who lives in a city, either in town or in a village, he is citizen of the modern state. So it means that all those individuals, all those people who live in a state, they are called citizens. In ancient times, as there was a very small city state, so everyone who used to live in a city, he was also the citizen. So this is the difference between the modern concept and the ancient concept of a citizen. There is another concept in civics, and this is very much important to understand, that is civic sense. What is civic sense? A citizen has civic sense if he is conscious about his obligations and responsibilities, which may develop a beautiful and healthy society. For example, if a person, if a citizen, if an individual is aware about his duties being a citizen, it means he has a civic sense. If a person has a sense of cleanliness of the city, cleanliness of his street, cleanliness of his surrounding, because being a citizen, it is his responsibility to keep his surrounding clean. This is called civic sense. At the same time, if he has a sense to obey the rules of the state, the laws of the state, he has a civic sense. Next, we have certain definitions of civics. So social scientists defined civics in the following ways. First, we have E.M. White. He defines civics in his book, The Foundation of Civics. Civics is the useful branch of human knowledge which deals with everything relating to citizens, past, present, and future, are local, national, or human. So we see that it is the branch of human knowledge which deals with everything relating to citizens. That may be the past, maybe the present, maybe the future. So it's a good and comprehensive definition. The second definition is by Patrick Gates. He defines civics in the following words. Civics is a science that deals with the civic life and its problems. It's a short definition, but it also covers to a lot extent, because civics is related with the civic life. Civic life means life of a citizen within a state and all its problems. Third writer we have F.J. Gould. He defines civics in the following words. Civics is the study of institutions, habits, activities, spirit by which a man or a woman may fulfill the duty and receive the benefits of membership in a political community. So F.J. Gould focuses over the duty and the obligations of a citizen in a political community. That it is the study of the institutions, habits, and activities, spirit by which a man or a woman may fulfill the duty. So in this way, the focus of, if we conclude these definitions, the focus of these writers is over the duty of citizens in a politically organized society. And the politically organized society means, very simply, the state, the sovereign state. Dear students, we have a few new words for today which we learned today. Civics, civis, civitas, madinat, city-state, state, civic sense, political community, local, and national. You have to read these paragraphs, these topics in your book, and you have to understand these terms, these words with the help of today's lecture and with the help of text in your book. So today we discussed various concepts of civics, but dear students, whatever we discuss, we have to link our discussion, we have to link our gained knowledge with our practical life. We see that today we discussed with the fundamental topics, the fundamental concepts of civics, how you can link with your practical life. And in present scenario, I would suggest to you that you are, all of us, either we are citizen of either one state or another state. And in present scenario, states are instructing their citizens, especially in coronavirus circumstances, which is, is the universal disease in these days. So states and the governments are instructing and directing their citizens not to come out of their home, so that this virus may be curtailed, may be stopped. So being the obedient citizen, you are also supposed to do that, and you are also supposed to tell everybody around you that completely and absolutely follow the instructions of the government. That is all for today. Thank you very much, and see you next time, inshallah.